So let's just start with some gentle movement. You can sit or stand, starting with some stretching of the side of the neck so you can extend your arm out. And then gently push your head back up to center. And as always, really listen to your own body with whatever invitations or instructions I give. Please don't do anything that you know doesn't feel good. And if you do try something and your body's saying no, then stop. Listen to the body above all. And pushing your head back to center. Some shoulder rolls, nice and slow. I was just at an office meeting where I work at Harmonia, and I was sharing about the last year of my life with it was my birthday celebration today. Um, and I was sharing that my motto for this year is going to be slow, slow, ease and flow. It's kind of got a ring to it. Ah, so we're going to slow down. The world is moving so fast. We're going to slow it down. Maybe one shoulder at a time, seeing how that feels. And then the next one, if you can, if you're in a setting where you can get onto the floor on all fours, do that. And if you can't, it's fine to be done in a chair. We're just going to do some cat cow to give our spine a little bit of warm up before we sit. And as always, if you have trouble getting up and down from the floor, or for any other reason, feel free to skip this part of the exercise. And if you're doing it in a chair, you can sit on the edge of the chair and you can round your back and then arch your back. And then for rounding your back, you breathe out, squishing your belly. And then when you breathe in, arch your back and let that breath in. Breathing out and breathing in. And maybe some of you are already down on the ground. Um, so on all fours, again, you're going to breathe in and the belly goes low, head goes high. And you breathe out and your back arches like a cat. Breathing in, belly goes low. Breathing out, you arch your back up, letting the neck get a nice long stretch. Breathing in, belly fills and goes low. Breathing out. And now go at your own pace. And, if you have back injuries or spinal cord stuff, you know, if you know that you shouldn't be doing this, then don't, obviously. But if you just have kind of a stiff back, you don't need to stretch to the fullest extent. Just kind of do this really gently. It's a great way for the neck to get a good stretch too, because you're in a different position. I never tilt my head backward when I'm sitting upright, but in this position, I can get a good neck extension. And now I'm going to be quiet. And if you're doing cat cow, just going with the flow of your breath, tuning into your breath and the movement, and maybe even slowing it down, finding your own rhythm, remembering to breathe in as the head comes up and breathing out as the head goes down. Breathing in, belly expands. Breathing out, belly contracts and gets squished as you arch your spine. And then for those of you that child's pose is accessible, you can get down into child's pose. You can either bend your knees real wide so that your belly can go in between your knees. I think you can see me. Imagine most of you know what child's pose is, but here my body is in between my knees, head down, neck relaxed. Or if it's more comfortable for you to do it with your knees together, you can do it that way too. And for some of you, it may be uncomfortable to get down that low. And if you have like a big pillow or a bolster, you can make it even more comfortable to be in child's pose. And you can just, I'm going to keep my head up just so that my AirPods don't buzz out. But you can just rest your head down to the side. And this can be a position that you can stay in for a really long time, a really restful yoga pose. So, however you are, if you're in child's pose, if you're seated, just leaning in to rest for a moment and tuning into your own breathing in this posture, or sitting up or laying down, however you are, just taking this as a moment of grounding and rest and really letting yourself feel as your body surrenders to gravity, allowing all those muscles that are used to hold you upright, all the muscles that are contracted from emotion, from fear, from discomfort, really inviting as you breathe in, imagining that the breath flows to all the parts of the body, especially the parts that are needing healing and nurturing. Imagine the breath carrying healing oxygen to those parts of your body, giving them more space. And then on the exhale, imagining that the energy can start to flow through these parts of the body again. Oxygen healing and soothing these parts of the body. Breath, moving energy, moving stuck energy that can keep diseases and difficulties in the body from healing. Just imagining, using your imagination to imagine the body healing. I'm going to be quiet now for a while. Whatever posture you're in, really find a pose of rest and imagine as you breathe in healing energy. Maybe this has a color to you, maybe it looks like light. Imagine it traveling to all the nooks and crannies in your body. And on the out breath, surrender to gravity, soften, and imagine through the out breath, energy that's been stuck is carried out, moved out, opening the flow. So let's practice together in this way for a little bit. If you are in child's pose, really feeling as you breathe into your belly and your chest, how that pushes against the legs, it pushes against the belly, and it causes the breath to expand in all dimensions. So the breath is going into the back body, the breath is going into the side bodies. 360 degrees of breath expansion. And then as you soften, imagine the body melting into the ground, surrendering to gravity. If you are in child's pose, see if you can feel the breath going all the way down to your tailbone. If you're really paying attention, you should notice that the back is expanding all the way down to that lowermost point of your bottom, the sacrum. Feel the expansion in the low spine. Imagining the muscles in your face melting with each out breath, breathing into the muscles of the face and the mouth, cheeks, the forehead. And then as you breathe out, the face melts, it softens, surrenders to gravity. Now, in a moment, we're going to move. I'm going to have you move into whatever position you would like to meditate in. But before you do that, just start noticing an intention to move. So we're going to do this super slow. And I want you to see if you can stay in connection with your body as you move slowly into sitting or lying down, however you want to meditate today. Moving slowly. If your body wants to do any last minute stretches, feel free to do that. But moving slowly, moving with intention, noticing the body as you move. Being inwardly focused, noticing if today you feel like having your eyes open or closed. If they're open, I'd invite you to allow your awareness to rest softly on something in front of you, your feet, a painting, a flower, whatever, but have the eyes be soft. And if your eyes are closed, imagine the eyes resting back in their eye sockets. Throughout the day, most of us are leaning forward with our eyes, leaning forward into screens and conversations. So almost imagine it's not really something you're doing with your body, it's more of an imagining. Imagine leaning back in your eyeballs and leaning back in your body. The body is upright if you're sitting, spine is long and tall, chin is slightly tucked. You can imagine maybe a string from the crown of your head. So you're upright, but you're not rigid. And then begin to notice the feeling of the breath entering the body, particularly at the belly. Begin to tune in to the belly. However you are, lying down or sitting, begin to notice how it feels as the breath comes into the belly and the belly expands. Feel the skin stretching, feel the ribs widening. Feel the skin of your abdomen pushing against your clothes. And see if you can imagine that your your torso from like your pelvic area up to your shoulders, it's like a vase. And we're going to pour water into the vase. Water is breath. We're going to pour breath into the vase of your body so that the lowest part is going to expand first. And then as the breath fills the body up, 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 the lungs expand then. And then we're going to empty the vase from the top. So as you exhale, lungs soften. It doesn't exactly happen sequentially, so don't worry too much about that. But generally, as we exhale, the lungs soften and then the belly softens, air moves out of the body. So see if you can just tune into this visualization of your body as a vase and the feeling of filling the body with breath from the low belly, the abdomen first. Breath fills the base of your body up into the lungs. Lungs expand. And then out breath, lungs soften, belly softens, out breath complete. Let's do that a few times together, really tuning into the movement of breath in the body. And noticing as you breathe, as you are aware of the belly and the chest filling with air, the mind will naturally come up with thoughts, beliefs, all kinds of content. And rather than getting upset with yourself that the mind is creating thought, perhaps just try today to accept that the mind is going to come up with thought. That is what the mind does, it's what it's good at. And in my experience, when I fight with my mind, it just gets louder and stronger. So instead of fighting with the mind, imagine that your focal point of your awareness is the breath. And maybe for you today, maybe it's at the nose. You're feeling the air moving in and out of the nose. Maybe it's the expansion and softening of the chest wall. Maybe for you today, you're watching, you're feeling the movement of air at your belly. You're feeling the belly expand with the in breath and soften with the out breath. So wherever you're witnessing, feeling the breath, that's your focal point. That's the focal point of your awareness. You might imagine that, especially on some days, the weather is pretty stormy, kind of like yesterday in Madison. We got hail, we got rain, we got snow, got all kinds of weather. Emotions are like weather, they're always changing, ever changing. So the breath is your focal point, your center. And then all around, you have this weather, you have these emotions, you have the body sensations, you have other senses, you have hearing giving you input, you have smells and tastes, you have the sensation of touch, the fabric of the clothes on your skin, and you have the mind. You have all these phenomena swirling around you, swirling through you. And imagine you are at the eye of the storm. You and your breath are the focal point. Your awareness of the breath is in the eye of the storm where things are perfectly still. And everything, all the chaos of being a human, can swirl around you. And you and your breath are just right here in this moment, just one breath. So from the middle, from the center, you can see all the changing phenomena of your life. You can see your thoughts swirling by and notice all your senses giving you input. It's always changing. And then here you are with your breath at the center, coming back again and again to just this one breath, just this one moment. And all the other stuff can keep doing its thing. And yet, here you are with your breath in the center. And sometimes you're going to forget your breath. the ever changing phenomena of being a human, sounds, the sights, the smells, the words, the sensations, the colors, the everything of being in a human body. It will pull you out of your center. It will pull you out of awareness of the breath. Again, no problemo. Just come back. So once you see that you're not in contact with your center, come back. Just remember the next breath and feel it. Be it. Be your next breath and let all the chaos keep going. You don't have to fight it. You don't have to control it. You're just in the eye of the storm with your breath. So I'm going to be quiet now so you get to practice with that. But remember, we're practicing together. The energy of practicing in community is quite strong. So you have the support of this community. We're doing this together. And remember to be kind to yourself. Remember that, especially when there's difficulty going on, coming back to the center is difficult. Being in that still point is very difficult, especially when life is difficult. So, this is not about being perfect and it's not about being hard on yourself. This is practice. That's what we're doing. In life, when we move through life, it's very hard to maintain a center point, an awareness of the breath and the groundedness of this still point. So we are practicing for life, and your mind will come up with all sorts of things that seem very, very important and probably are very important. And they are important. And keep practicing, keep noticing with loving gentleness. Oh, okay, my mind is really drawn to this thing. My mind is really focused on this thing that happened. I'm feeling a lot of emotions about it. Okay, good, fine. It's all welcome. And come back to the center. Notice from the center. Aha, okay. I'm feeling my breath. I'm in the center. I'm seeing, okay, this is what anger feels like. This is what sadness feels like. And observe your own consciousness. Take your own seat of the witness. Be in the center while life happens around you. And let's do that together, practicing for life together. Back to the center, back to your breath, noticing everything else and aware of the sensations, the flow of the breath, being the breath. I'd invite you to remember a time in your life when you felt connected to something bigger than you. Maybe it's a moment in nature. Maybe it's a sunset or an ocean or a forest. Maybe it's a moment when you felt deeply loved, cared for. Maybe it was a spiritual moment or a moment you felt connected to God or goddess or spirit. Call upon the memory of a mind, a time, a being when you were really enraptured in the moment, a moment where time stood still and you felt connected. Imagine that you can breathe that moment into your being. Notice how you feel. Notice this sense of, if you can access it, the sense of being connected to something bigger. We all use different words for what that thing is: love, God, spirit, soul, energy, universe, whatever words you use, they're all welcome. And I just feel it's so important right now to remember that we are souls living our own unique human curriculums. Perhaps, who knows, but maybe we're all souls living out our own perfect human curriculum for our own perfect growth and learning and expansion. Just consider that possibility, especially when things in the human realm get super messy and super hard. See if you can connect with that memory of something bigger. And remember that you are so much more than this human body, this human ego, this personality. Your consciousness is vast. It is connected to everything, even when we can't feel it. I'd love to read you a poem, and see if you can just let the words fall on your consciousness. On a name that it is it's 12:45. So for those of you that have a hard stop, thanks for coming. For those of you that can stay and listen to the poem, here it goes. It's called The Boat by Laura Weaver. You have not missed the boat. You are not late to the party. You've not taken the wrong turn or the wrong ticket or ended up in the wrong line. You have not made the fatal mistake that will destroy you for all time. You haven't undershot the bullseye or slept through the final moments of the ultimate opportunity. You have not missed the boat. You are the boat, and the sea that gently tugs on the moorings unties the knots, and in its time when the wind is right, releases you to the drawing tide. For you know this open water and this joy that breaks free for no reason. You know this unmovable peace that arises in spite of storms and high seas and even the terrible losses that seem unbearable. For there is all that comes and goes, and there is that which is indestructible, the essence that changes forms but does not die. There is the one of you who laughs at the impossibility of being human, to be wired like this, with the hurricane of the mind and the tiger of the heart, and the rise and the fall of the passions moving in us like sweet fire. Yes, you are not the one running for the boat that is leaving the port, not the one who is seconds too late for your life, nor the one debating which way to go or frantically seeking the ultimate truth. You are not even the one trying so hard to find the last piece of the puzzle that would make you whole. You are the boat and the ocean. I'd like to dedicate our practice. May the fruits of our practice today collectively spread outwards in all directions and help to end the suffering of all beings everywhere. And bow to each one of you. Thank you for taking the time to go inward, bring some self compassion into your life. As we all know, the seeds of self compassion are what create the kindness in the world. When we can forgive ourselves, can be kind to ourselves, when we practice that, an ongoing practice, it's not an on off switch. Yeah, just so grateful for this opportunity and this community to be with you, to meditate with you, imagining your faces. Yeah. And remember, you're the boat, you're the ocean. You are also human, but you are so much more than that. Try to remember that when the chaos and the storms of being human get to be a lot, as they do.